Okay, welcome to the franchise bonus edition, where today we're talking about the new Scream release, Scream 6. Okay, you guys know I'm a fan of the franchise. It's one of the first things we covered on this show. If you go back and listen to the beginning of the origins of the franchise. Um, I'm a particular fan of 1, 2, and 4, but I have things I like in 3 and 5 as well. My name is Daniel Ehrenberg, in case you didn't know that. Uh, and over there's Logan Adair, my hook host.
Bueno. Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, Amanda from Big Brother 9.
We were talking about Amanda from Big Brother 9 before we started recording, so that's why I said bueno.
Sometimes we just do that, all right?
I also love Scream, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, Logan really does. The first ever episode we did together when Logan took over as co-host was Scream 5. How about that?
Yeah, and if you listen to that, we probably loved Scream 5, but now we don't as much.
No, I liked it.
We also did commentary tracks, by the way.
That's true. That's how much we like Scream. We did commentary tracks on all 5.
It's the only
Scream
franchise
movies.
we covered all of them.
We're probably gonna have to
Usually
do 6.
100%. Whenever it gets to streaming, we'll definitely do it.
Yeah. All right. So I wanted to say a disclaimer at the start of this episode. It's okay to like the movies. It's always okay to like movies. And I love the Scream franchise, so I have a stake in it doing well and continuing. And I'm glad that most people seem to like this installment. And I'm glad it's a hit. And I'm excited for more Scream. That said,
it scares up a box office success.
Great. That said, I fucking hated this movie.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't turn off the podcast because I did not hate this movie. There are things I liked about this movie. In fact, I saw it twice. So
yeah, you went to see it last night.
Don't turn it off.
Can you tell me whether you liked it more, less, or the same?
I would say about the same. Honestly, I think there are things that didn't work as much. We'll get into it. Some things that I was like, that doesn't really make sense when you know the twist. Not that many times, but a couple times. But it's really watchable, I think, to me. I think there are like the set pieces are pretty good.
2 of them are.
They're spread out pretty evenly. Yeah, I kind of agree. But they're pretty fun on it. They're pretty fun, honestly. And they're pretty well spaced out.
I like the one
the characters were better in this movie.
I like the one that's just a shot for shot remake of the raptors in the kitchen in the first Jurassic Park.
Yeah, in the bodega.
Yeah.
What about the one that was a shot for shot remake of the ladder scene from Deep Blue Sea?
I never made that connection, but good call.
Yeah, that's all I can think about.
All right, I'm going to ask you, Logan, to sort of spearhead this episode.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
Well, you saw it twice. You took extensive notes on the franchise. I went in Saturday night, just watched it in a crowd, big crowd. There were people wearing Scream T-shirts in the audience, Logan. It's like
no masks,
it's like wearing no mask, but it's like you're not supposed to wear like the shirt of the band you're going to see. You wear a different band shirt.
Why?
Because it's lame.
You don't want to be a simp?
Yeah.
Like what is that? That's like if you go to a football game, you don't wear a football.
No, of course
shirt
you do.
Or football jersey?
You're supporting them.
What's the difference?
There's a difference, man. If you're going to see like a Pixies show, don't wear a Pixies t-shirt. You wear like a Smiths t-shirt.
Actually?
Yeah.
Why is that a rule?
That's a rule, man. It's not my fault you're not cool.
So is it a rule? So wait, is the rule to wear another band's t-shirt or to wear any other t-shirt?
Just anything else.
All right, that's a weird fucking rule.
No, it's not. Logan, take us back to New York. Actually, we got a new location, New York City, baby.
We don't have anything before like the directors, budget, or
Oh,
anything?
whatever. It's the fellows who did the last one, Matt Bettinelli, Olpin, and Tyler Gillette. They collectively call themselves Radio Silence. And I know you have no there are people on, on Letterboxd that I saw that were like, Radio Silence did a great job with this film. And if you're calling these
Yeah.
motherfuckers Radio Silence, you're too far gone. You were never
Yeah,
you never had a chance of not liking this movie.
I fucking agree with you. I've been seeing the same shit and thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, what is this? Where does this come from? These people. There's a thing people do where they see. It's like what people do with Marvel, where they see a superhero and they're like, "Oh, I fucking know that superhero. I know everything about that superhero. I know all their powers, their origin." Where people just like pretend they know everything about their people, and so they call them by their cool person name, like the cool club name or whatever. It's stupid.
I know. I hate, like, I'm a New York Rangers fan, and if you go on the Rangers subreddit, they all talk about the players using their like locker room nicknames. It sucks. Anyway, Radio Silence directed this film. They previously did Southbound, which people liked, but I never saw, and Ready or Not, which people liked, and I did too. And the last Scream movie.
That's their best movie, Ready or Not, probably.
Well, I haven't seen that Southbound one.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Anyway,
Ready or Not, very good. Check it out.
No, I'm a fan of that movie. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
One of Adrian Brody's best roles, I think. Or Adam Brody, sorry.
Yo, yeah, I was very confused for a second.
Yeah, they're one of those people I get confused.
Okay, it's written by Guy Busick, who's their partner. He also wrote Ready or Not and The Last Scream. And we also have a screenwriting credit by James Vanderbilt, who just seems to get his fingers in everything. He's one of the richest people in the world, a complete nepo baby. But, you know, he's also written Zodiac, so you got to give him that.
We just talked about him when we did White House Down.
Oh, that's right. We fucking did. That was on the Patreon, though. A lot of people haven't heard that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but...
and twins.
Yeah, but we've covered him, too. He did the Amazing Spider-Man movies and Independence Day Resurgence. And we'll probably cover him again soon because he's writing Murder Mystery 2.
Okay, that'll be fun.
Anyway, Scream 6. I mean, it cost $35 million, which is about on par with most of these movies, and it's doing really well. It's made 70 something so far, and
it scares up a success at the box office.
Logan, you're on fire today.
That's a thing that we like to do.
Yeah.
You like to send box office puns.
Oh, that's right. I do. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things is when movies do really well at the box office and they try to incorporate something from the movie.
Yeah.
What are some of the ones I've sent you?
Oh man, it's been so long. I can't remember.
I know, I haven't done it in a while.
No, it's been a few months.
Let me see if I can find one. You could cut this part out. China box office, Death on the Nile, Dead on Arrival. Scream terrorizes the box office in previews. Lightyear buzzes to $5.2 million in previews, and Moonfall lands China release date. I love it.
Yeah,
I goddamn love it. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Better than any of those. Scares up a success.
Probably was, dude. You fucking nailed that. Anyway,
I've got something. This is the longest Scream movie, 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Yeah, so when you say watchable, I have a bone to pick with that.
No, I think it really is. I didn't know who the killer was the whole time. Did you guess who the killer was?
Yeah.
Really?
One of them.
Okay, because I did not, and when I was thinking about it going through the second time, I was like, "Do they do a good job of like misdirecting, making you think?" And I don't know. There's a lot of different things going on. I was into it kind of.
We're gonna spoil Scream, so if you haven't seen Scream, but if
that's what we do here, come on.
Yeah, if Dermot Mulroney is signing on to be in a Scream movie, he's the killer. It's like when you watch an old Columbo episode and there's an actor you've heard of in the guest cast. Like, that guy's the killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I also felt like Dermot Mulroney was never giving a real performance in this movie. He was just sort of like, look, I'm Dermot Mulroney in a Scream movie. Isn't that wild?
I feel like he was acting the whole time.
I'm not sure. Anyway,
I feel like he was locked into it. He was
okay.
like, this is cool.
I never felt like he was in the reality of the franchise.
I don't think that they're in the reality of the franchise
No,
anymore.
they're not. They're doing fan fiction at this point. That's all it is.
That's not his fault.
No,
That's
it's not his fault, but that's what we're doing now. Like, and don't tell me we're not. Like, these Scream movies aren't canon to me. Like, I understand that they're supposed to be, but they don't feel like it. And I don't understand why they don't just get Kevin Williamson to write these movies. He still exists. Like, he's still a person in the world, and he's still writing horror movies. He wrote that movie Sick this year, which, by the way, is much better than Scream 6.
Yeah, I agree. I've put this in my 2023 rankings, and that's better. All right, we'll start with the opening scene.
Yeah, go ahead.
What did you think about that? Samara Weaving from Ready or Not is back, and spoiler alert, she dies.
I thought she was completely wasted. Though
Well, that's what we do in this series. We kill off a famous person in the opening part.
Would you call Drew Barrymore's appearance in Scream wasted? Would you call Jada Pinkett in Scream 2
Okay, that's what you
wasted?
mean.
Yeah, I mean, no. You would never say that.
You know who wasn't wasted? Tony Revolori. I thought he was good, and then when he died, I was upset.
The dude from Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah,
I
and
really,
Spider-Man.
I did think they were just gonna go like, this one's not a whodunit. We're telling you the killers right away.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit.
Yes, honestly, when he took his mask off, I was like, "Oh my god!" So this isn't gonna be like the normal structure of how we go about finding out who Ghostface is. We're gonna find out right away, and then
No,
just
but of
follow
course it is,
this-
because this is the least creative Scream movie ever.
All right, I was a bit let down when it was just like, nope, it is just back to formula, back to what we know. I was disappointed by that.
Can I talk about the whole New York thing?
Yeah, go for it.
They made such a fucking big deal out of New York being the setting of this movie. Like, that was all the trailers. Like, they showed him in a bodega and they showed him on the subway and shit. And so you're waiting. I waited the whole movie for the subway. I was like, it's in the last 20 minutes. And, you know, the tagline to the movie is like, New York, new rules, right? And but they did not shoot a single fucking frame of this movie in New York. It never ever looks or feels like New York for a single second. It's clearly Vancouver. It's clearly sound stages. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I wrote down 5 locations that they go to. Classic New York locations, okay? Are you ready for this? All right. Number 1, bodega.
Sure.
Number 2, New York apartment. Number 3.
That's a location?
Oh yeah, New York
apartment. They have apartments other places too. I'm in one right now in Las Vegas.
New York apartment. Number 3. Oh, actually I only have 4 written down. Subway station. Number 4, dark alley. Classic
dark
New York
alley,
location.
which is not a classic New York. There aren't really dark alleys in New York, man. Like, especially like, where the fuck was that? She was like on a main road with like in like a fancy restaurant, and like right across the street from the restaurant there's a dark alley. What the fuck are you even talking about?
And why? Honestly, she was very stupid. I've seen people be like, this is the greatest opening in Scream. And no, it's fucking not. This character was so stupid. She's on the phone with like a blind date person. He's like,
Tinder date.
Hey, go leave.
It's not a blind date.
Right.
She has a picture of him on a dating app.
But she sees a guy walk by at one point, and she's like, hey, like she thinks it's him. And then, all right, so I guess I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. But so, yeah, you're right. But
you've
she
seen
leaves
this
the
twice, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But she leaves the restaurant, walks across the street, looks in the dark alley. See, here's the guy
Walks
on the phone.
down
Be
the
like, yeah.
dark alley.
But here's the guy on the phone. Be like, yeah, I don't see you. And then the guy's like, somebody's chasing me, is what he says. And she's like, what? I'm gonna go down the dark alley where I can't even see you, but I'm still just gonna walk down by myself. And then she fucking dies. Very stupid person. She deserved to die.
I
Sorry.
agree.
She didn't deserve to die, but
No,
very
she
dumb.
did. All right, so that's the fucking opening
You know, but
on
Tony Revolori goes
Vancouver's
home.
New York street set.
He goes home, and you know what movie is on the TV?
I don't remember.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh wow, another movie that didn't shoot in New York.
Oh, is that true?
Like, isn't the point of this to be better than Jason Takes Manhattan? Like, these Scream movies are supposed to be slightly elevated above normal slasher movies. But this was just all this was the Jason Takes Manhattan of the Scream franchise.
Can I tell you something I thought about? I thought about what if they did a Scream movie that was like New Nightmare, where it was like Sidney Prescott, or like it's like Nev Campbell. They're calling it's like what? What did you say?
I said Nev Campbell.
Oh yeah, sorry, because I said Sydney. But yeah, it's Nev Campbell, and she's like, yeah, they're wanting me for Scream 7, and it's like that part, and it's like that, but it's actually Nev Campbell. But then I was like, no, New Nightmare works because the villain is in the nightmares. How would actual Ghostface? But then I realized like an actual fan could be Ghostface, right?
Look,
anyone could be Ghostface.
The closest
that could be a cool idea, like a new Nightmare Scream movie.
I don't think New Nightmare holds up. First of all, and
I'm not saying
I don't want to see
agree with you.
That. To me, the most meta
that kid
I want
is terrible in New Nightmare.
Yeah, I know. The most meta I want Scream to get is that opening of Scream 4.
Yeah, I think that's the peak without getting too annoying.
Yeah,
I agree with you. It's without crossing a line. Yeah. All right. What do you think about the therapist? Then she goes to her therapy.
Love that. It was fun to see Henry Czerny. He's an actor I like. We talked about him when we covered the first Mission Impossible. I like him. He always seems like a soapy actor to me. He's in that show Revenge too. I
noticed he was in Ready or Not, so they brought him.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was in that, and he has a big old beard in this one. And he's scared of Melissa Barrera, even though she doesn't convey any emotion.
I do think she's better in this than she is in the other one. But I do think she starts out bad.
You know,
I think this first scene
who's
the therapist is her worst.
You know who's a bad actor? The entire cast of these new Scream movies. The Core 4.
No, not the Core 4.
I fucking hate the Core 4. Listen, if Jenna fucking Ortega is the real thespian of your crew, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. What is thespian?
Like the best actor.
Oh, is she the best one?
Yeah,
people love her. People say she's like the best actress.
Fine. She's fine. She's watchable in a way that the other three are not.
What'd you think about Quinn? We meet these new characters. Quinn, the neighbor of the sisters Sam and Tara.
Yeah.
What'd you think about her? She's a slut. That's her whole character. She's always sleeping around.
I thought she was fine. I mean, I sort of forgotten her by the end of the movie when she shows up again.
Okay. All right. They went to a frat party. Did you catch this reference? She says at one point, they're like, hey, Tara, are you going to go out for Omega Beta Zeta?
I fucking did. Of course I caught that. Yeah, that's Sarah Michelle Gellar's sorority from Scream 2.
Yes, so incredible. And you know what I did? When I got home, I watched the Cece scene from Scream 2, and fucking hell, that is so good. That's some good shit.
You know what? That's
Watch
better
the
than
Cece death from Scream 2.
You know what's that scene's better than? Literally every scene in this movie. Yeah.
I had the same thought. I was like, this is so much better than anything in this movie. But hey, that's the times we live in. But
did I say
actually made a list
did I say Sarah Michelle Gellar? I feel like I stumbled over my words there.
I think you did.
Oh, okay, good.
What else would you have said?
I thought I might have said Jenna Ortega by accident.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I made a list, by the way, of I was thinking a lot. that Scream 6 is a lot like Scream 2.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
intentionally.
Yes, and I'm gonna give you a list of all the ways that I thought of. Okay.
It's a college movie.
Yep, that's one of them.
What else you got?
They go to a frat party specifically. That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. A public opening. None of the other openings are public. This one and Scream
Interesting.
2 are the only public openings. This one at a restaurant, the other one at a movie theater. Omega Beta Zeta, they referenced that one. They have the scene where they track the cell phones in a public area.
Oh yeah, I thought that scene was familiar too. It felt like the Randy scene.
They do reference Randy. She's like, our uncle
Well,
Randy died like this.
Well, of course we do, because two of our characters are Randy's niece and nephew.
Oh my god!
Every
Why
time
do you hate this now?
I forgot that was a thing, and when they said it, I started laughing
Really?
so fucking hard in the movie theater. I must have been annoying to people around me. I also laughed really hard when they said Sydney's at home with Mark.
Yeah, we'll get to that part. We get a Gale versus Ghostface fight chase scene, like
Yeah,
Scream 2 in
yeah,
the
in the
sound booth.
archives.
Yeah, that also happens in Scream 4, right, with the Stabathon. But I didn't care. I put that on here anyway. I thought that a lot about. I think that the subway when they stab Mindy, I think that's a lot like when they stab Jada Pinkett Smith at the opening. How it's like in a public place, but no, everyone's just too busy doing their own thing. They all just don't care.
And in the dark.
And in the
Because
dark,
the lights
hers
go
is
out
more
in
light,
the subway.
but the lights come back on pretty soon after, and everyone just leaves.
Yeah.
The other one, they're in the movie theater the whole time. This movie is a family revenge plot, the same as Scream 2.
Wow,
that one is
this
the mom.
guy.
Yeah, listen to me. There's a quote where what's the girl's name? The slut. What's her name? Quinn. She says, I swear to God, she says this. This has to be intentional. She says when she takes her mask off during the reveal, she says to one of them, I guess her friend, Tara, she says, "You didn't see it coming, did you?" Which is obviously a line from Mickey when he's like, "Didn't see it coming, did you?"
Yeah,
remember?
I
so obviously
that too.
A direct reference to that.
Mhm.
And then Chad, of course, gets stabbed again and rolled out on a stretcher again, just like Dewey did in Scream 2, rolling out again like he did in the second movie or in the first movie.
Watching
those are all the
that
ways I
dude,
thought that was like
Cuba
Scream
Gooding Jr.'s son, by the way, who plays Chad, watching him try to act, it's like watching a fish try to walk.
He sounds exactly like his dad, right?
Yeah. Doesn't make him good.
No, I'm not saying anything makes him good, but he sounds exactly like him. I couldn't get it out of my head. But I think I was thinking about this. I sort of like, what if this guy continues acting? What's the ceiling? Because I kind of feel like this is it. Like
all of these four actors, I mean, every single one of them should be on CW shows. And Jenna Ortega is basically. That's all Wednesday is. It feels exactly like a CW show. That's what everyone should be doing. Melissa Barrera, she should be on that Roswell, New Mexico show. Mason Gooding, throw him on Riverdale. Fucking, who's the other one? Oh, Jasmine. You know what's? It's upsetting. Jasmine Savoy Brown, I'd seen in shit that I liked her in before she was in these Scream movies. And
I think she's good in this.
I think she's terrible.
I think she's good in this.
Okay.
I liked her speech, like her whole rules.
I thought that was
and I liked
garbage. Such a garbage scene, especially considering.
No, I thought she was good.
What about how one of the rules is like, for a franchise, you need to make things bigger and better, more expensive. It's the exact same rules that they gave in Scream 2.
Yeah. They also say, by the way, all bets are off. Anybody can die. Nobody fucking dies in this movie.
Nobody fucking dies in this movie. They are so unwilling to kill off this core 4 nonsense.
Yeah. In Scream 2, Randy died. The one other person carried over from Scream
But
2,
you know what they
well, besides
did?
Gale and
But
Dewey.
they wish they still had Randy. That's the thing. So they're like, if we're gonna make
Yeah.
12 Scream movies, which we want to do
You're
clearly,
fucking right.
then
I
we
hate
need
the
to
world.
keep the people we like alive.
Oh my god. You're right. You're
Mhm.
right. Nobody makes choices anymore. Art is dead. D-Train.
Yep.
God damn it. You know who dies in this movie? I have a list. 5 people. The therapist, all right? Annika. They say Annika, but I'm pretty sure you pronounce that name Annika.
Who is
That's how
that?
I've heard it all my life. That's the girlfriend, Mindy's girlfriend.
Oh yeah, she was hot.
I liked her. I thought she was cool. She died. How do you say it? Annika or Annika?
I usually Annika, but whatever.
All right. Tony Revolori and Samara Weaving, who die in the first 5 minutes,
Right.
and then Gail's boyfriend, who dies off screen, and then he gets
Wait,
thrown
no one
through a
else
wall.
dies.
That's it. And then all the ghost faces, obviously. But
I
but
know.
that- but
I
that-
really thought they were gonna kill Gale. And then like the paramedics show up
Oh
at the
my
last
God.
minute, and at the end of the
I-
movie, they're like, "Gale's in the hospital. She's okay."
did you like that she was okay, or did you want her to die?
I wanted anything to happen.
I had this talk with Tim on privately, and he was like, I had the exact same thought watching the movie, which is like, because they did this thing in Star Wars where in the first movie, when you come back, they kill Han Solo. The second movie, they kill Luke Skywalker. The third movie, they kill Leia. And the first Scream movie, they kill Dewey. And then it gets to the Gale fight, and I was like, are they gonna kill Gale right now? They're gonna do exactly how they're doing Star Wars. And then as soon as I got done watching the movie, Tim was like, I thought they were gonna do the Star Wars thing, and it was the exact thought that I had. But you wish that she had died. You would have been fine with that? Because I would have hated if they just copy pasted Star Wars.
I wasn't thinking of Star Wars at all. I was thinking of Scream. And in a Scream movie, usually a major character dies, whether it's a quote unquote legacy character or a new character to that movie. Like
I thought Chad was a goner.
Yeah, you gotta kill one of the 4, right?
He was stabbed like 20 times by 2 ghost faces.
I thought they were gonna kill Ortega because she's so big now that she's like too big for the franchise.
That would have been funny. No, that would have been too sad. Imagine watching her die.
I'd love to.
And then you would eat her.
Stop it.
All right. So what? All right. So where were we? The bodega. You hated the bodega. You said it was just like the raptor scene.
It's the raptor scene from Jurassic Park.
All right. Should we get to? Oh, you said you didn't like Dermot Mulroney.
No, and I like Dermot Mulroney as an actor. I think he's great, but I didn't feel like he was acting in this.
Yeah, I think you're wrong.
I felt like he was like, I'm in a Scream movie. Check it out.
No. What about Kirby? Kirby's in this movie. She's an FBI agent.
Yeah.
Detective Kirby.
Listen, as a real Scream 4 head, of course I appreciate them bringing Kirby back. And it was nice to see. I liked some of her interactions with Gale, and really, I only liked her first couple scenes because then she has that fucking annoying scene with Jasmine Savoy Brown where they like compared her nerd notes.
Yeah, she comes in and she says that she's from Atlanta. Do you remember that at all?
No.
She says she's from like an FBI place in Atlanta, and at that point in the movie, I thought she was bad because at the beginning of the movie they said that Tony Revolori was from Atlanta. They were like, he was like quizzing his friend, like, where did you meet me? And they were like,
right,
in Atlanta when we were like 14 years old. And she says she's from the branch in Atlanta, and I was like, oh shit, is she like a bad person? So that at this point in the movie, I'm thinking she's bad. Okay,
that's a red herring, bro.
Yes. Did you ever think she was bad?
Yeah, at certain times.
I sort of didn't love everything with her. Like, I thought that in Scream 4, I feel like she's making jokes at like everybody else's expense. And in this one, I felt like sometimes others were like making jokes at her expense, kind of.
I don't
Especially
know.
Gail.
I liked things about her character. I liked when Gail said
Me
she's a
too.
zygote and she was like, "I'm 30."
She said, "I have a gun."
Yeah, I thought that was good. But whatever. Good to see Hayden Planetarium getting out there in the world.
Yeah, put her more in movies and away from those kids. Am I right?
Is she a bad mother? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I read that she doesn't even have an agent anymore. Like they couldn't find her, and Kevin Williamson like met somebody who worked for Nashville, and he was like, "Can I get her phone number?"
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so then Gail showed up, and can I tell you, they should have left Sydney out of 5. That's my take.
But they didn't, and they want to bring her back for 7.
I know, but because they forced her into 5, they had to force her out of 6, and then they're just gonna have to force her back into 7. And I find that annoying when I'm watching a movie and I can tell the process of getting an actor in the movie. I just
Mm-hmm.
hate that. I just want to watch the movie. And when I
Yeah.
can tell that everything is business when I'm watching a fucking movie, that bothers me. So I'm just gonna say that. I
Yeah,
love
I
Nev
mean
Campbell, but she should not have been back, I don't
that's
think. Unless she should have
always
stayed
an
back
all right,
or
yeah,
killed her
whatever.
off. I'm sorry.
Can't get a word in edgewise on this podcast.
I thought I was still talking, to be honest.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let's keep going.
No, what'd you have? Sorry.
Nothing. It was fine.
Okay. All right, but yeah. So yes, they said Sydney and Mark like took their kids and they got the hell out of there, right? Mark Kincaid. Come on, Mark Kincaid.
The whole time I was thinking, like, I wonder if his favorite scary movie is still his life.
Not anymore. He's probably living a good life. But so then when she got interrogated, she offered up this information to the detective. To I think his name is Bailey. I actually didn't even write down his name. In all of mine, I just wrote Dermot. So I actually don't know. I think it's Bailey. I want to say his name is Bailey. His last name is Bailey. But she tells him like he was like, "What's your alibi for the other night whenever these 2 kids died?" And she said she was in therapy, right? She went from therapy and then she went to go look for her sister Tara. And then so the therapist, we get a scene of the therapist at home and the therapist dies, right? And when the therapist died, I thought
And he's
that
watching
now
a horror movie too, right?
did you catch it?
I did at the time. He's like right at the end of a horror movie. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers from the 50s.
Yes. The quote that they're saying during it is I've never seen this movie, so I don't know what's going on, but he's screaming like, "You're next, you're
Yeah.
next, you're next." So that's pretty cool because this guy's about to fucking die. So they like to do that in these movies. But at this point, I thought Dermot Mulroney was the killer because he knew that this guy was the therapist and he had like the information or whatever. So
I thought he was
I'm
the
just taking
killer after they like started talking about suspects, and he was like, obviously Quinn's not a suspect. Let's take her off the board. I was like, this guy's fucking in on it.
Yeah, and even Jenna Ortega and their sister looked at each other, gave each other like a weird look, like
Yeah.
what the fuck is this dude up to? They did that a lot in this movie. They gave each other like 4 weird looks, and like half the time they were right, and half the time they were not right.
It's to try to
I noticed that the
sell
second
their
time.
sisterly chemistry because they can't do it on their own because the acting is so bad.
Oh my god, they had one moment, and oh my god, in the second because they Jesus Christ. They realized like we don't really know much about their relationship at all. And so they were like, what can we say? And so I think it's Sam has a moment with Gail. Gail's like, so what's up? What's like the deal with your mom? What's going on there? And Sam's like, she kind of disowned me after I told Tara about Billy being my dad. She got real pissed and disowned me. And then Tara stuck up for me. She disowned my mom to be like, this is wrong. And that's just like forced in like a random dialogue scene where you're just hanging
it was
out
so
in that,
it was so forced that for a while I thought their mom was going to turn out to be the killer.
Me too. Yeah. They hang out in that shrine place a little too long, I think.
That shrine place is so fucking stupid. Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
how could someone collect all of that, like, state's evidence in serial killer trials? That's insane.
They ask that. Jenna Ortega says, like, isn't this evidence? And they're like, well, you can pay off the cops, but the dad is a
You're
cop,
gonna
so I
pay
guess
off
he
the
just
cop,
took it out of
but
evidence.
what do you mean? He's not a cop in Woodsboro or
Oh, yeah,
California,
you're right.
even. Like,
Yeah, how did they get all this shit?
I don't. How'd they get?
Oh,
Like,
he says
Stu's robe. Like, what the fuck?
he says like he got it all for his son because his son loved he was obsessed with all the movies, so he collected all this stuff for Dennis Quaid's kid.
A big
Richie.
fan of the Stab movies can somehow get the actual Ghostface costumes and knives that were used by all of the previous actual killers.
Yeah. Listen, I agree. I'm not defending it or anything. I agree with you. What do you think about the other part?
Also, that fucking place where all the shit is would cost in New York $1 million a month.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. All right. Well, what do you think about the moment where they bring up Roman and Hayden Planetarium's like, yeah, and good for him. He was the only one who was a solo Ghostface. He pulled that off.
Points for ambition. Points for ambition. I liked that line.
Points for ambition. That was cool. She gave him his due.
But I was also too busy just dying laughing because there was a fucking photobomb of Scott Foley in this movie.
And Henry Winkler was my favorite. We got to see Principal Embry again.
We
that
did
was the best
when
one for me. He was in one of the boxes.
He was in one of the boxes?
Oh, in the shrines. Oh, you're thinking about at the detective place. They had the big board.
Right. No,
in
but
one of the shrines they had a Hembry thing. Sorry.
Wow, how about that? And there was huge Dewey shrine, obviously.
Yeah, he had like 4 pictures, I think. Did you like? So the first set piece, I guess, was the bodega. Then we have the big apartment set piece where he comes in, and then the ladder. You didn't like any of that stuff?
I like the part where they're hanging out in the kitchen, just having a jovial convo.
Core 4.
Woo!
Yeah, I liked all that stuff.
Oh, but nice. You know what? My MVP was involved in that scene.
Oh, who's that?
I liked the dude that was fucking Sam.
That's your MVP in this movie?
I love that guy.
Why?
I don't know. He brought some realism to it. It was a unique energy that I hadn't seen in a Scream movie before. No, I don't know why you need to pause and take like think about everything I say.
Well, because I really don't understand this at all. Like Scream is like such a feel. This guy was. I feel like nobody understands this, especially this guy. He was so serious, and I feel like he didn't understand anything that was going on.
I didn't feel that way
he never
at
met
all.
any of the other actors.
I thought he was really funny.
I feel like they kept him locked away, and then they were like, "All right, here you have a scene coming out. Come up."
Yeah, he wasn't in it enough.
Yeah, he wasn't. All right, we'll agree to disagree on that guy. But all right, so so you didn't like this scene with the ladder?
I thought it was this one was okay, and I did feel the tension. The tense scenes in this movie work the best because the acting is so bad that like they don't really need to act during that stuff. The editing does it for them. And so like I did feel tense, and when you knew that the girlfriend was going to die, like clearly, but she died in a fun way.
Especially when she got stabbed in the tummy.
Yeah, you see like him twisting it. There's a lot of knife twisting in this one.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Hey, how about that part where the two Ghostfaces cleaned their knives in union?
Yeah, both times I watched it, everybody laughed at that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, everyone loved that part, including me. I enjoyed that part too. There's one part in here that did not work the second time that I watched this. I thought,
okay,
the boyfriend is like across. He can see in the windows, like across the way, and he airdrops them like a picture of Ghostface grabbing the roommate, and it looks like he's gonna kill her, but in reality, why would Ghostface be grabbing her like that? Because he's not. I get. Oh, maybe to keep up the charade, like in case
Yeah,
he's
to keep
watching.
up
Maybe
the
pretend.
charade. Maybe they saw him
I
across
guess
the
I'm.
street looking in.
Yeah, he did. He definitely saw him in that moment. So I guess talking it out, I corrected myself. So never mind.
He's a real Joe
But
Goldberg from You, staring at people through their windows.
yeah, he is. I thought it was kind of a little silly though. Like she was stabbed in the tummy, and they twisted it, and she's still like crawling halfway across a suspended ladder.
Yeah.
Seemed a little bit unrealistic to me.
Oh, really?
So I couldn't. Why is everything else unrealistic?
Yes. Gail survived.
I thought that was it. They actually kind of did a good job with that. That's way better than Chad surviving. He gets stabbed 15 times by two different guys. Gail gets stabbed 3 times in the shoulder, the leg, and then in like the side somewhere.
She's bleeding.
They did a pretty good job there.
I don't know.
But paramedics are there pretty quick after.
They're there.
Actually, I watched this quote.
They're there unrealistically quick, I would say.
No, they call ahead of time because they know that he's heading there. Because that's after they do the cell phones and they know that he's heading to that place.
Yeah,
So
they
go ahead and
get
send them
from
there.
like downtown up to Gail's apartment on 96th Street in the span of like 10 minutes.
Is that too fast?
Yes.
No. I think they do a good job. You see the sun setting. You see it go when daytime they're tracking the phones. It's nighttime when Gail gets stabbed. I think they do a good job tracking the sun setting. I paid close attention to
Whatever. All right.
All right, I'm just letting you know, though. I don't want to like you to get emails or anything.
I don't care. I don't.
Right.
People are gonna not like this episode anyway because most people like this movie, and I'm talking shit about it, and people are gonna say I'm nitpicking and stuff. But whatever. Like, there's nothing. There are core problems with it. Like, there's nothing to nitpick for me because the movie never could have worked because you have 4 main leads and at least 3 of them can act. I would argue all 4. You have a film that takes place in New York, and that's supposed to be the hook of the movie, and it's not shot there. And it seems to know nothing about the city whatsoever. And I mean, it's like there are issues at the very heart of this franchise at this point that can't be overcome.
I agree with everything that you're saying, but I honestly I didn't know who the killer was the whole time. I thought they did, like at certain points I thought that it was Kirby, and then I thought that it was Dermot, and then I thought that it was her boyfriend, and then I thought it was Kirby again, and then I thought it was like I really didn't know until the very end. And I think that them killing off his daughter sort of cleared him in my mind. I didn't think he was the killer anymore at that point. But then he was, and that surprised me.
I just didn't think
that's what these movies are. They're supposed to like.
I didn't think his grief over his daughter ever felt real. So I was still like, what the fuck is going on with this guy?
I did when he came out of the scene crying. Oh, my daughter, now both my kids are gone. Oh my God.
I feel like if you watched that performance in isolation, you'd be like, what is this actor trying to convey here?
You know what I thought about when I was watching this? I thought about when the 3rd movie comes out, or maybe when the 3rd and 4th movie comes out, because they may split it into part 1
You
and
mean
part
the
2.
7th and 8th?
I think I'm gonna. Yeah, 7th and 8th. What did I say?
3rd.
Oh, what? I said the 3rd?
Yeah, meaning the 3rd of this era.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But when that comes out, I thought about like I could easily make like a supercut of all of Melissa Barrera's terrible line readings of everything.
That's just all of her line readings.
Not all of them.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not all of them.
Melissa Barrera is a blank fucking slate. She can't do anything. She's a brick. Okay,
she's very physical.
She's a complete miss.
I think she's very physical.
What? Yeah, she's attractive.
That's not what I mean. I think she's like physically imposing. I think she's good for like a franchise that takes a lot of like.
She is dead.
Strain,
she's completely
probably.
Dead behind the eyes.
Yeah, maybe. Did you think that the boyfriend worked with her? What that you? How are you? I don't understand this.
Oh, no one can work
You
with
thought
her.
they like
No one can have chemistry with her because she's not an actor. But I mean, I thought the boyfriend brought something different, like when he's in the ladder scene, or like when he's trying to get in touch with them across the way, or the scene where they part ways and he can't be there because he's not core 4. Like I
did your
thought.
crowd react when he had his shirt off?
No, did yours?
Both times.
Wow.
There was like whistles both
Oh,
times.
you know what? There was a
People
little,
loved it.
there when they kiss finally, the crowd was into it. Like, oh, good for you, girl.
Who? Like early on when it's revealed that they're actually seeing each other?
Yeah.
Oh wow. That happened when God, it's crazy. When Jenna Ortega and Cuba's kid, what's his name? What's his actual name?
Mason Gooding.
Mason Gooding. When they kiss, the first time people were way into that. Not as much the second time, but the first time people were into that. And I do not see it at all. I thought really bad together.
I couldn't believe like that was something they were asking me to invest in.
Yeah, I couldn't either. Was that set up at all in the first movie?
It must have been, but like clearly unmemorably. I've seen that movie more than once and I have no memory of that. And it's just and Mason Gooding is just another one that like he's the worst kind of nepo baby. He brings absolutely nothing to the table. Like he has nice abs. That's the best thing I could say about him.
Yeah, he did have his shirt off at the beginning. I don't know. I think he's kind of good at this of like being like the fun, dopey, charismatic guy in the friend group.
Is he fun?
Like
Is he
frat
dopey?
guy,
Is he
kinda.
charismatic? I don't think he ever is any of these things.
I kind of think he's all those things within this group. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't like to see him in any other movies though. I'll say that. By the way, I made a list of actors I would actually like to see in Scream 7. Do you want that? 5 actors,
Go ahead.
young actors. One of them, the one
But
guy on
they
here.
already have enough young actors because they never kill off anybody.
Well, they can put these in to kill them. Okay.
Okay, great.
All right. This is like Sarah Michelle Gellar. Here is, because we have Mason Gooding. What about O'Shea Jackson Jr.? Put him in Scream 7. That'd be fun, right?
Yeah, throw in what's his name? Denzel Washington's kid too.
Oh yeah,
John Washington.
John David Washington, yeah. And then the rest are ladies. We have Rachel Sennott, obviously. She would be incredible in Scream 7. I don't know why she wasn't.
It would be redundant.
It
would be redundant. She was already in Bodies, which is a much better horror movie.
I don't give a fuck.
All right.
You don't even know. She could be in Scream 7, which is better than Bodies.
It won't be with this cast.
If she's the lead.
Maybe if she's the lead.
Make her the lead.
Rachel Sennott was fucking Samantha. I'd be into this franchise.
Maybe this one's probably too big. Anya Taylor-Joy. Is that too big?
Yeah, she's probably too big at this point.
All right. Sydney Sweeney. Layup. Got to put her in the next
Yeah,
movie.
that's good.
Yeah. And then last, do you even know this person? Taylor Russell? Oh, you saw Bones and All. She's the lead in Bones and All.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like she'd be good in one of these. She's also in Escape Room, so she's done horror.
But for her sake, I hope that's not where her career goes. I hope she's in much better
really
movies
good.
going forward. She's talented.
Yes, I agree. Well, that was my list of those actors. All right, then they go to that shrine place. Here is where I thought Kirby was the killer again. So I was on the Dermot Mulroney, he's the killer train. Then his daughter died, and I was like, all right, he's not the killer. So who's the killer? Is it Kirby? Is it the boyfriend? Who is it? Then Gail's like, hey, I found this place. Let's go to it. And Kirby's like, I've never heard of this place before. And she like knew
Gail's
those
like,
guys.
well,
She
I'm
was
a great reporter.
Yeah, and at that moment I was like, how does Kirby not know this? Like, she's clearly bad. But then I was wrong. But yeah. By the way, do you think
in that shrine Kenny the cameraman's top story jacket? How did they get that?
I don't know. My favorite one was the robe from Scream 1.
Yeah, that was that. I mean, I liked that just because I was like, "Hey, that's fun." I remember that
That's
robe.
awesome.
Yeah.
Or remember the What's his name? Stephen Orth? Was that the guy from the first
Yeah,
movie?
they
The
had
guys
his Letterman's jacket, and they
and
even
duct
put a
tape
little
on a
piece of duct
mannequin.
tape around the mouth of the mannequin. Yeah.
That was so funny.
Were you excited?
Oh, I
Were
couldn't
you
believe it.
excited that Ghost Skeet Ulrich came back?
Was I excited?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't excited. It wasn't as bad as the first movie, but I wasn't
Sure.
excited.
Sure it was.
I think he was my LVP of the first one, not my LVP of this one. By the way, do you think Stu is alive? They have that moment where they're sitting together and they're like,
Yeah.
"Is Stu alive?"
Um
I thought he might show up, but he didn't.
Listen, that was a Kevin Williamson idea for Scream 2 or 3, I don't remember. But I think it's too late to do it now. If Stu showed up, he'd be like, have you seen Matthew Lillard? He's an old man.
So is Skeet. He's in the movies,
Yeah, but they de-age Skeet because he has to look like he
and they
did
show him
when
in
he died.
reflections.
Yeah. I still don't understand how Skeet had a kid. He was cheating on Sydney, is that right?
You don't understand how Skeet had a kid.
Who did he impregnate?
I think this was, yeah, maybe before Sydney. No, he didn't have a kid before Sydney. I don't know. Yeah, he was cheating on Sydney.
Yeah. Also, is it weird that the first Scream movie takes place in an all-white town, all-white school? There are literally no people of color in the entire movie, and yet somehow Skeet Ulrich ended up with a Latina daughter, and Randy ended up with two black niece and nephews.
Yeah, that must have been at college, the niece and nephews thing. But Sam,
I mean, I'm not saying I
is-
don't want the cast to be diverse. I do. I just don't think they all need to be related to people from the first fucking movie.
but Sam he had in high school because he dies. So
But
you're right
you,
about that
if
part.
you're watching Scream now, do I really like? Do I have to think like, he's got a baby out there right now?
We don't think about Roman when we watch.
I do.
Scream.
I fucking do all the time.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
We talked about him a lot in our commentary. That's all
Yeah,
we could talk about
see?
was Roman the whole time. Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't really think about it that much though. All right. Well, what happens next? Oh, we got the Broken Arrow theme. Did you like that?
I did like that. I love that that started as a Broken Arrow theme, and now it's just like the official theme song of Dewey.
Yeah, it is. They're talking about like, yeah, sometimes people die, and it played.
Boom, 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 boom.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I pop.
Kirby said she died for 4 fucking minutes.
Yep.
That was wild to hear. Very, very sorry to hear that. All right, let's go to Gale versus Ghostface. All right, did you like that?
Yeah, I thought that was a decent enough set piece, and I really felt for Gail. I didn't want her to die, so like I felt actual tension in my body in that scene. So yeah, I got no beef with that one.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too, but I didn't think they were gonna kill her. I did not think they were gonna copy Star Wars. It was all I could think about, honestly. And
I never thought about Star Wars while watching this movie.
It's all I could think about. But I did not think that they were gonna copy it. I thought they knew also. I thought they were aware of it, and so I didn't think they were gonna do it. So, and I'm glad that they didn't do it. I'm really glad they didn't do it.
You had radio
but by the-
silence into it.
Yeah, they did the right thing. I think that because this is Quinn, the slutty roommate, Quinn, who is fighting Gale, because she even says at the end, like, I'm the one that did it. And she kills the boyfriend. She like grabs him and pulls him off and then chokes him and then throws him through a wall.
Yeah, but that's all of these movies. Like
I had the same thought.
Ghostface suit gives you powers, clearly. Like Debbie
dumb to
Salt
complain about, I know.
in Scream 2 shouldn't be able to do anything that she does. And probably neither.
Well, I thought he was the muscle. I thought Mickey was the muscle though.
Yeah, but she's definitely killing certain people, and she wouldn't be able to. And Jill Roberts in Scream 4, same thing. I've got no beef
That's
with
crazy.
the reveal that she's the killer, but it's insane to think that she could kill people. So I think that's just part and parcel with the franchise. I'm not going to ever complain about that.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I had the thought like it does happen all the time, but I don't know. I feel like I should bring it up, but like maybe not. But by the way, this was the first time ever that Gale has talked to Ghostface on the phone. I never
Yeah,
thought about that.
me neither.
But they even say that. They were like, "Yeah, this is the first time
Yeah,
we've
they
ever done
flag it
this."
up
Yeah.
in dialogue.
Did you like the part where she puts him on hold?
Yes, I did. I laughed at that.
Me too. And both theaters laughed at that part. That may be the funniest part of the whole movie. She's like, "Hey, can I put you on hold?" And he's like, "What?" And it cuts off
Because
before he can
that's
say
an
anything.
actual subversion of expectations, whereas nothing else in the movie is.
Oh, come on. What about the part where you thought they might be in New York? They got you.
It's true. They got me with that trailer, man.
You had no idea. And all those posters,
Well,
right?
yeah,
They really tried to sell it.
yeah, New York, new rules, baby. I was
Look up the
excited.
IMDb. Look up the IMDb poster. It's the worst possible poster that they could have gone with. It is atrocious. It's just like the copy. It's just like the make it in Keynote with like the characters and like shrink them down and put their heads on a poster. It's garbage. They had so many creative ones that they could have gone with.
I'm looking.
I hate it. Yeah, it's I really
Yeah,
don't
you're
like it.
right. It's just like literally everyone in the movie just like looking different
It's
ways.
like 20 characters pasted on top of each other like a Marvel movie. It's sickening.
It
All
does
the other
look
ones are
like
so
a Marvel
cool.
movie. You're right. And of course, it's got the Empire State Building right there, baby, because this is a New York movie.
I then whatever. Then they go to the subway. Okay, did you
Yeah.
like the subway?
Yeah, they went to the subway set in Vancouver, and it was fine. I no, I didn't like this scene, and I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't make any fucking sense that everyone on Halloween that's going out wearing a mask is still wearing the mask on the subway. I mean,
Why?
because I've been on the subway on Halloween and nobody's wearing a fucking mask, all right? Nobody ever.
You didn't go this year.
All right.
Maybe that's what they were doing this year.
Fuck off, man.
Because of COVID.
But even during COVID, you'd go on the subway and nobody would be wearing a fucking mask. It was perilous.
Yeah, and everyone's wearing the scariest possible masks because everyone's like Pinhead,
Yeah.
Michael Myers. There's no like whatever's happy Goldilocks.
Honestly, like in New York, 80% of the costumes you see are slutty girls. That's all it is. It's just I'm wearing a slutty outfit. That's my costume. And then the other 20% are like people with paint on them.
Yeah, but not here. Freddy Krueger, Jason. I remember the girls from The Shining, the little twins from The Shining.
Yeah.
I saw them on there at one point.
Cool.
That was pretty good. Could have used Chucky, I thought.
Get
Anytime you're like dressing people up, put a Chucky out there. Chucky is always good to have. By the way, my favorite shot happens during the subway scene. My favorite shot of the entire movie.
Okay.
It's when Ghostface is sitting down in one of the chairs and like it's like Ghostface, what do you call that? The foreground?
Sure.
And then it's Mindy in the background and she's like keeping an eye on him, like, ooh, what's up here? And he's like leaning over, like all ominous. I thought that was pretty cool. So there you go. My favorite shot in the movie.
But I also didn't understand why they kept thinking different people were Ghostfaces, because they knew that Ghostface was like a popular costume that year, which it wouldn't be because, I mean, this is the age of wokeness. No one's buying costumes of active serial killers. That's insane. But they knew that the mask of the real killer this time was consistently like worn and old looking. And so why would they think that all of these Ghostfaces on the subway wearing like perfectly clean white new masks were Ghostface?
He knew they had like 9 of them though, so who knows? Some of them are probably
he was leaving those at the crime scenes. He was consistently,
but he only left a few so far.
But he was consistently wearing one.
Yeah, I guess they didn't know there were a few others. They could have been wearing some newer ones. I did like, by the way, that it was older. I thought that was kind of cool looking.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Did you like that part where he had a shotgun? People were complaining about it, but I liked
No,
it.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. He just fucking blew the guy's head off.
Yeah.
And by the way, the girl had a gun in the last movie when she's like, when they're like, "Who's the killer?" And she's like, "I am," and she just shoots her friend or whatever. Like Ghostface had a gun in the very last movie. So what are we?
Ghostface had a fucking gun in the very first movie.
Who did he kill with a gun in the first movie?
I mean, there's guns at the end of that movie. There's shots of, right? Aren't they holding a gun at one point?
I feel like they just have maybe.
I mean,
Maybe you're right.
Sidney shoots him through the head.
I feel like I can picture.
Maybe
I
it's
can
just
picture Stu
Dewey's
scratching. Oh no! Yeah, you're right because I could picture Billy getting a gun from Sidney and like
Oh,
scratching his
yeah,
head, and
totally.
he shoots Randy.
Mhm.
We all go a little mad sometimes. He shoots Randy. Remember?
Right.
That's when he shoots him. All right, and then remember in Scary Movie when he shoots him and he tries to smoke his own lung. Remember that?
Kind of.
He's like. That's so funny.
Yeah, you should get into
God
Foley
damn.
work. I liked that.
You like that?
Yeah.
Man. All right. So, well, what else? What else happened? D-Train.
There's an adorable scene where Jenna Ortega and Mason Gooding are like, which one of us is going to eat this old candy?
Yeah, this 50-year-old milk dud who wants it. Very stupid. And then they kiss, and the crowd goes wild. Yeah, Chad got stabbed a whole bunch. I thought he should have died, but he didn't. What are you gonna do? You want to talk about the reveal? What'd you think about that?
3 killers. Wow. That's
First
so
time
many
ever.
killers. And I mean, it's a dad and his 2 kids seeking revenge for a 3rd kid. It's fuck off.
Yeah. Honestly, it felt like an M. Night Shyamalan. It felt like if M. Night but it felt like also like a Saw movie because of all like the shrines and like the dedication to Jigsaw
Yeah.
or to Ghostface. It felt like what's the one called? Is it called Jigsaw? Right, that's called Jigsaw, right?
That's
the
a
one from,
movie for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It felt like Jigsaw. That's all the shrines. But then it felt like an M. Night Shyamalan movie where it was like the weird, like obsessed family getting revenge for their son. And there was actually a shot of Dermot Mulroney that felt like an M. Night shot. That was kind of weird.
I'd frankly love to see M. Night write a Scream movie. It would be better than these.
I don't think so.
I
feel like
do.
that would be way too weird.
I think it would be interesting.
I feel like his tone and directing is way
the
different
thing.
than a Scream movie.
Here's the thing. Kevin Williamson should be writing all of these. Every single one of them. Look at the board. To me, the 3 best Scream movies are 1, 2, and 4. You may disagree. Your mileage may vary, but you're certainly not going to argue with me against 1 and 2. All right? The 3 is clearly weaker than those movies, right? Everyone agrees on that. That one's not written by Kevin Williamson. It's written by Aaron Kruger. Okay? And these new ones feel to me like a pale copy of what those were. So the idea that they literally have Kevin Williamson working on these movies as a creative consultant and not asking him to write them, it's insane.
I agree with everything that you're saying. Is he saying no?
No, he would love to write them. He would do it.
Because Wes is dead?
They've asked him not to write them.
Yeah. Have they paid him not to write them?
Yeah, they're paying him to be like a consultant to read their scripts and give them notes.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. Well, their loss.
And ours.
Well, he's making whatever that movie was called. Sick.
Yeah, but you wouldn't love to see a new Scream movie written by Kevin Williamson? I would. I think he might even be able to make these characters watchable.
Is he going to make the actors watchable?
No, that's impossible. But, what are you going to do?
I'll say I thought everyone was better, mostly. Especially Sam. I didn't like Sam at all in the last movie. And in this movie, I can tolerate her.
I feel like you're going through the Little Phantom Menace syndrome. This is pure copium. And when you watch this movie again for the commentary with me in October, you're not going to be saying any of these things.
No, I was like observing her bad lines, and she starts out really bad with her therapist, and she has a few bad ones throughout. But I don't know. I don't know. I just think she's better. The first one, she's really, really bad.
She's also really, really bad in this one.
All right. Well, I am going to give it a 3.
I'll give it a 2.
All right. Not a 1. Should we rank the
No.
screams?
Yeah, sure. It's 1, 2, 4.
Oh, I've never heard you say that before.
Wait, no, 1, 4, 2. I fucked that up. 1, 4. That's is my personal ranking. 1, 4, 2. 3, 5, 6.
So this is your least favorite one.
Yeah, I think 3. This is definitely my least favorite one. I can't decide whether I like 3 or 5 more, but I'm ranking 3 above it just because Wes Craven fucking directed it. It looks better. Wes Craven is a better director than Radio Silence. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I will rank them 1. By the way, Andy Herron says the Scream 2 is the greatest Scream movie, and you're just fucking wrong. That's so stupid.
You don't need
Like
to
Scream
talk.
1 is it great, like structurally, like dialogue wise, like acting, directing, everything it's pretty perfect in that movie. And Scream 2 is just like lead up to a set piece, lead up to a set piece. It's fun, it's great. I love Scream 2. It's one of the great sequels ever, but get real.
Is Andy Herron the winner of Big Brother 15, not one of our finest film critics?
No, he's not. I'm not either. I'm not claiming to be, but that is asinine. I do know the word asinine. That's pretty good.
That's pretty, you nailed
Gotta
that.
respect
Yeah.
that. Did you like how this ended, by the way? It ended with the flash of Ghostface being like, loading a shotgun.
Oh, I didn't
Real
even
quick.
notice. But I'll tell you what
I
I
love that
did.
part.
I stuck around for. Hey, first of all, did you know that there was a post-credit scene?
No.
I didn't stick around for it, but I heard people talking about it when I was entering the movie and people were exiting from the previous showing. Yeah.
So why didn't you stick around then?
Because I
If you knew it
didn't
was
care.
coming.
I just didn't care. But it was like apparently Jasmine Savoy Brown, that character, Mindy, is that her name?
Yeah.
Talking about how like not every movie needs a post-credit sequence.
Oh my god, I hate that so much.
I know.
So
But
I
stuck
like
around for some of the credits because I know Scream is good for some picture credits. I know it.
Yeah.
And they didn't let me down.
That's one thing you can count on.
Yeah.
Yeah. They nailed it. There was a Demi Lovato
Did you notice that
song,
Roger Jackson got his first ever picture credit?
No.
Yeah, they showed.
I remember in the last movie they showed Ghostface. This one they showed Roger Jackson.
Yeah, no, they showed Ghostface. Oh, did they do that in the last movie too? But yeah,
they 100% did that. In the last movie.
Okay, then they've done it twice now.
I remember that specifically. Okay, who's your MVP? But by the way, I did like what's her name, Lavoy. What's her name? Savoy.
Jasmine Savoy Brown.
Jasmine Savoy Brown, who plays Mindy. I did like her showing. I kind of like her. I think she's pretty good. I liked her at the end being like, I know who the killer is, but then she missed it again.
I've enjoyed her in other movies.
I haven't seen her in other movies, but I also liked her, by the way, how she wanted to like get her revenge for not catching the killer, getting it right in the last movie, and she gets it right in this movie. By the way, we haven't talked about Spider from Avatar: The Way of Water one single second this whole. I'm being 100% serious.
He's one of the killers.
We have not mentioned him. We have not mentioned him once, have we?
No.
I haven't even thought about him, and he's my LVP. How have I not thought about him? He's terrible, and I haven't even thought about his presence one time. Wow, that's wild. He hasn't even. But I forgot what I was saying because I got so distracted with the Spider from Avatar: The Way of Water. But he's my LVP. Who's your MVP? Oh, the ending. I like that she got it right. That she suspected the whole time he was a killer, and she got that right. So good for her.
All right. My MVP is Josh Segarra, who was the hot across the street neighbor.
That is the stupidest opinion you've ever had.
Fuck off. And
I hope people are pissed at you in this. in this episode.
I don't care. Fucking hate me all you want. My second choice would have been The Therapist.
What? I have 3 names written down, and there are 2 of them.
They're both good. And my
He's in the movie to die. He's in one scene and then he dies
in
in
2
the next scene.
scenes.
It's so stupid.
he has as many scenes in this as Sarah Michelle Gellar did in Scream 2, and you wouldn't say she's an LVP.
Yeah, but that's Sarah Michelle Gellar. You don't know who this guy is.
I do. It's Henry Czerny from the first Mission Impossible movie. He's the
Yeah,
villain
but you're
in the
a
first.
psycho.
Fuck off.
You wouldn't know that at the time. Like
I
a
did.
person
I
that was your age when
recognized him
Scream.
in the movie.
No, a person that was your age when Scream 2 came out, watching this, would not know who that is.
When I saw Scream 2 at 11 years old, I knew who the acting coach was. David
That's
Warner.
the difference between this movie. But that's the difference between this movie and Scream 2. Scream 2 casts good people, and this is
Henry
cast
Czerny
nobody.
is good. I think
No, he's not.
the 2 best performances in the movie are the across the street neighbor and the therapist, and maybe third place Kirby, and then my LVP. So many to choose from, but I'll go with Mason Gooding.
All right. Fair enough. So my LVP was Spider, obviously, from Avatar The Way of Water. And my MVP is between 2 people. It's between Mindy and Gail. All right, Courtney Cox. And I'm not sure I would give Courtney my MVP for any other movie. So for any
Did
other
you notice
movie,
that she
so
got
I'm
herself
gonna do it here.
You notice that she got herself a little executive producer credit on this baby?
No.
Yeah.
Was this the first one? I did not notice
I
that.
don't
That's
think
very cool.
she's had one before. But yeah, I mean, she's like, hey, Nev Campbell's not willing to do your movie, and I am.
That's what I
How
was
about
gonna
an
say.
executive producer credit, motherfucker?
Yeah, so she gained from Nev leaving.
That's right.
Interesting. I'm sure she's glad. That's pretty cool. Maybe she told her to. Maybe she told her, like, I'll give you 20% if you don't act in this one.
Yeah.
We will both benefit a little bit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right. There we go. That's Scream 6. I liked it a little more than you did. Sorry, guys, if you loved this.
I don't care. I'm not gonna lie about I'm not gonna just celebrate franchises that I think are failing creatively.
No, I agree that this is failing creatively, but I also agree that sort of at the core, Scream
the core 4
is the core 4. By the way, what do you think of when you think of the core 4?
I think of the OC, which referred to their main 4 characters as the core 4 consistently.
I think of Jerry, Elaine, George, and Kramer. Do they ever call themselves the core 4?
I don't know,
I think they might.
But to me, this is an OC ripoff.
All right, but I do think
Ryan, Seth, Marissa, and Summer. That's the fucking core 4, motherfucker.
But I do think that they're failing creatively. But I also think that this franchise is whodunit franchise, and I think this got me. I was like when the daughter died, I didn't expect the dad to be the killer anymore, but then he was. I thought the boyfriend was gonna. I don't know. Like they had me the whole time.
I don't think this franchise is salvageable until they get a completely new cast.
Nah, it got to a 3. That's all I gave it. So